Hey, it's Faye. So, I feel like I need to explain the whole gobbledygook about the Kabalah, which was in my previous video. To understand where I'm coming from for this theory, that it's aiming to explain the history of Teyvat, you're gonna have to understand three things first. First, you're gonna have to know thelema, otherwise known as will in Greek, or thelemology, the study of God's will. Second, you have to know Gnosticism, which is a religious and philosophical movement that was active from 200 BCE to 400 CE. It is based on the idea of gnosis, which is the Greek word for knowledge. And lastly, you're gonna have to know the medieval counterpart to chemistry, otherwise known as alchemy. In thelemology, there is the idea of the tree of life. This tree of life consists of 11 sephiroths that represents God's manifestations. If all 11 are together, they form the idea of God, otherwise known as Ein Sof Earth, the limitless light or Sophia. The 11 manifestations of gods are as follows. First, Kether meaning crown. Second, Chokmah meaning wisdom. Third, Binah meaning understanding. Fourth, Dath meaning knowledge. Fifth, Chesed meaning mercy. Sixth, Geburah meaning strength. Seventh, Tippereth meaning beauty. Eighth, Netzach meaning victory. Ninth, Hod meaning splendor. 10th, Yesod meaning foundation. And 11th, Malkuth meaning kingdom. In alchemy, there exists the idea of a rebus, a union of two opposing sexes, male and female, a red king and a white queen. Genshin follows this logic where the red king is the one who dictates fate. He is the one that is in control of the logic or function of Celestia or the heavens, and the white queen is the executioner of these functions. Teyvat is a land of conquerors. The history that is remembered is only that of the winning side. Irminsul ensures that only one side of history will be recorded. Like many other theories, we must begin by revisiting the book given to the travelers way back in the Mondstadt, The Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies. In Volume 1 of this book, the Night Mother is introduced to the reader. In the beginning, there is only her and darkness. She is described as being vexed by the moonlight emanating from the mysterious moonlit forest, though the book never specifies where this forest is located. While many theorists have speculated that the moonlit forest may be connected to the Moon Sisters or to the kingdom of Celes, I believe it has a close connection to everyone's favorite Geo-Archon, Rex Lapis, as he has a leeway book quite literally named The Moonlit Bamboo Forest. Now, stay with me, but make sure to put on a tinfoil hat. Zhongli, Rex Lapis, Morax. Who truly knows the essence of the Geo-Archon? Why is his main theme called Rex Incognito? Is he hiding himself in plain sight? My theory might sound far-fetched, but I believe Zhongli is Nibelung, the king of dragons. While this claim may seem absurd at first, let me back it up with some historical and mythological connections. In Sumerian mythology, there is a god named Ningu Blaga, a deity of cattle heavily associated with Inanna, the goddess of the moon. Ningu Blaga's wife was Ninigara, a dairy goddess. Interestingly, Guizhong, known for her engineering prowess and technological achievements rivaling those of Conria, is often depicted with the cleansing bell. The symbol of a bell feels fitting, subtly connecting her to the themes of a cattle bell and the fleeting moments of dust. In Enkonomiya, there is a shade left behind named Aburaku no Mikoto, or Abrax. Abrax is the creator of the Danichi Mikoshi, the artificial sun that saved the nation from the baptismal bishops. However, it's essential to remember that when someone rewrites the strands of fate, the knowledge of Teyvat's residents about these events change as well. If Rex Lapis, or Nibelung, was the original ruler of Teyvat, but was absurd, his human counterpart could be Abrax. Notably, the name Abrax bears a striking resemblance to Morax, his Archon name, and Abraxas means Great Archon. In Honkai Impact 3rd, the Geo element is thematically tied to Earth and space. This motif is also echoed in Honkai Star Rail with the Aeon Clip-Off. It would make sense then if Nibelung/Zhongli began as a sky dragon and after being overthrown became a human tied to the earth. This evolution aligns with the broader themes of transformation and duality across miHoYo's games. Honkai Star Rail also helps bridge the connection of Nibelung/ancient times of Teruel with the puzzles on the Zhenzhou Lofu, the Hexanexus, which looks the same as Zhongli's meteor in its ultimate. When the player completes one of these puzzles, they also look strikingly like the hypostasises. But regardless, if we assume that Zhongli is Nibelung and Guizhong is his partner, who would she be in this dragon pantheon? The only option for her to be would be the Herb Lord from Chenyu Vale. Now, I know many people assume that the Herb Lord, after losing its powers, became Changsheng. However, Orobashi, the snake in Inazuma, also had red eyes and was a white snake that was split into many pieces. I think it would be fitting if when the dragons were usurped, Nibelung was split into a dragon in human form, and so was the Herb Lord or Ouroboros into Orobashi and Guizhong. The split also parallels the idea of the White Queen and the Red King in the alchemical process of trying to make the Philosopher's Stone. Now, the question is, who usurped Zhongli/Nibelung? It had to be the first who came, but who is the first who came, the primordial one? This question is answered from Honkai Impact 3. I believe it is simply the will of the Honkai, otherwise known as Prometheus, an AI whose job was to ensure that its only created the same cycle of Hershers that had appeared in the previous era for the current era. Fittingly, that the ones who gave rise to humanity is also the same name of the Titan who stole the flame for humanity. This time is also most likely when Durandal, aka Bianca Atagina, had her short visual novel, where she fell into a parallel bubble world in the Sea of Quanta and she had to collect colored gems. She also overthrew a monarchy and had to then insert herself into the bubble world to ensure it didn't collapse. She also vaguely looked extremely like Lumine. I mean, they look almost identical. But then, we know the sinners doomed Khaenri'ah by committing atrocities against the sustainer of heavenly principles. They took the authority of Celestia for themselves, but didn't bother to change anything. Why? Maybe because they know changing anything is futile, or maybe they disagree with each other. We'll have to wait and see.